Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Hidden Expedition Titanic. I'm MCFPapa, and this is part 2. And it's the third level, and already reusing rooms. Because there are not that many locations in this game. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14... I think some of these, like, green locations are doubled up sometimes, but there aren't that many locations to visit. I wish the jewel count, like, in the bag was cumulative over the course of the whole game. There's another waving starfish, and there's another waving starfish. I guess the logic is like that when the ship hit the iceberg, people's belongings like flew everywhere. That's why there's items scattered all over. Or maybe when it sank, items like drifted out and then settled somewhere else. I don't even remember much about the events that led to the Titanic and like as it was going down. I remember like in 6th grade maybe it was 7th grade, I was like big into Titanic stuff and read a bunch of books on it, and also historical fiction stuff people wrote about like kids on the Titanic as it was going down and then surviving. But I just don't remember much of that at all. I'm pretty sure it's the reason why like lifeboats are required on modern ships. And believe it or not, even though I've seen several of the more famous scenes from the movie, I've never actually seen in its entirety James Cameron's Titanic. Although when I go to garage sales, I'd say the 2 VHS box set of Titanic is probably the most common movie to find at a garage sale. 46,328 tons it weighed. How did they weigh it? Is that just an estimate based on the weight of everything else in the ship? Do they have a super underwater scale that's capable of measuring that heavy of a weight? I doubt it. I remember when I first played this guy really creeped me out. I had to like hold up my hand and just covered the part of the scene with him in whenever I played this. And something weird is every other scene that has an oxygen tank uses the same image, but the bar has a different oxygen tank image. And that's clearly a compass, but it's considered a watch in this game for some reason. And that's a giant bullet. Like about half the size of a rolling pin. Like what gun would even fire a bullet like that? And apparently, even though it's been like underwater for 90 years or so at the time of when this game released, Titanic still has lights that are working. Somehow. Oh, you can actually pick up multiple items at once. I didn't remember you could in this game. 2,228 passengers on board, 705 survived. Norma Desmond's purse. Hollywood movie star Norma Desmond lost her purse on the ship and she wants it back. In it was her diary, favorite handgun, the mate to her famous blue shoes that she wore for her acceptance speech, and some key beauty tools. If you find the complete purse, she is bound to at least give you her autograph for all her hard work. 90 years after the Titanic, and she's still alive. Maybe this game doesn't take place like in 2006 when it released. Maybe it's set in the past, like whenever they first discovered the location of the Titanic. Because otherwise, like, Norma Desmond would not still be alive if she was old enough to be a movie star when it went down. Unless she's, like, 108 or older. In which case, I doubt her hands are steady enough to be able to actually write. Oh, and gotta collect her one single cigarette. I'm sure that's still good after all these years. Now, how hard would it be? Oh, there it is. I don't think the $10 bill looked like that back in the day. Oh, and something weird about that scene was that, like, you had to find items from the bathroom, but you didn't actually visit it in the level. You visit the dining room again and the bar. Maybe they swapped the level orders around. And they only have like a handful of different gem shapes in this game, and then they just reuse them for other things. Like, they just recolor them, and it's a separate gem to find then. I remember one time while I was playing this game, I was also coloring with crayons, like, stuff next to it, and I think I was, like, coloring my own type of hidden object scenes or something, like, to insert into this game, or maybe just coloring scenes from the game. I don't remember exactly, but whatever the case, I do remember that I had an orange crayon and I put it right next to the computer fan, and that thing melted and basically gunked up the whole fan to the point where the computer got really hot, and I remember my dad was not happy with me for doing that. He made me, like, take a knife or something and just, like, scrape it all out. And then the laptop continued to work for several years. So the moral of the story is, don't color while you're on a hot laptop. Oh, I remember that always confused me as a kid, that I thought the ball and chain was the cannonball, and it still apparently gets me now, when I'm so much older and wiser. Well, at least older, hopefully wiser. I remember I used to think that the pufferfish in here was really cute. I don't really think it's that cute anymore. And you can tell they cut corners somewhat by just, like, copying and pasting stuff, like just recoloring this green anemone to be a purple anemone, which I guess is understandable. I doubt many people worked on this game. 3,547 passengers plus crew. I don't know, I think a measure of, like, when something can be considered, like, really in the past, like, at least to me it seems like ancient history, as if no one is still alive who was, like, around at that time. Like, I don't believe there's any, like, survivors of the Titanic still living. And sadly, pretty soon there won't be any World War II veterans left, and that'll be ancient history too. And it's weird to think that, like, My dad's old enough to have spoke to veterans from the Spanish-American War. Just kinda surreal. Ooh. For once we get 2 brand new locations to explore. Oh, and I remember this location really got me because of this plane thing here, where I just couldn't figure out what I was supposed to find because it's an old-timey looking plane instead of the modern one. And I really don't think they had ice cube trays at the time of the Titanic. Because they're generally pretty good of having like antique type items like this movie camera, which could theoretically have been around at the time. But then for other stuff they have more modern items. I don't know, it's not the best at being historically accurate, but at least it tried somewhat. There was an attempt, at least, and I can respect them for the attempt. It's very surprising that in the crash, part of the ceiling has like been destroyed and the mirror has been destroyed, but the stained glass window is miraculously intact. Huh. Oh, that's from Madame Fate. Oh, actually, the Madame Fate one in Lucy the Bearded Beauty that's a morphing object is from this game. I'm picking on stuff I'd never have picked up on as a kid, because Madame Fate didn't even exist when I was playing this heavily. Alright, now, what's a wee sailor? How does that differ from, like, a other sailor? Man, this game has really taken me back. Like, I remember those string beans were so hard for me to find. And I remember I was so little that, like, I had to have my mom or dad constantly come over and explain to me what stuff was. Like, I doubt my 6-year-old self could have known what a bellows was. Or like a Viking helmet. But my 6-year-old self definitely knew that those were McDonald's fries in their trademark red box. But if you actually collect them, like the red M or yellow M isn't there, it's just a solid red box. But you all know It's McDonald's fries. Oh, there's the wee sailor. I thought it would have been a little person. I don't even remember the last time I played this. Probably like at least 5 years ago, I would have to say. Some of it's, though, still burned into my memory pretty well. Like, I still remember where all the oxygen tanks are. And I don't believe the game, like, actually ever really tells you that you can get oxygen tanks for more time. I think that was something I just uncovered on my own. George Lloyd Kent was a genius Texas architect. He could design tall buildings in a single day. Many could recall him spinning 2 plastic triangles on each finger like a cowboy with his pistols. A final telegram from him reads, "Struck on something tonight. Think this is the big one. We need you to retrieve his final design." I guess to keep the age rating down, they don't want to say, oh, he died on the Titanic, though that's the implication. And what's weird is, in the main game, you can collect multiple items at once, but here, in this mini game, you can't. You gotta wait for them. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Alright. That'll do it for this part, so like and subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next time for Dive 6.